Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today we're going to be doing another episode of our Prehistoric Kingdom Devlog recaps. So another month, another Devlog. We've got Devlog 39 here for May 2021, and yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a looky-loo. So welcome to May's update. This month the team has put together quite the juicy update, rich with new information and a whole bunch of major additions being worked on in the background. For the state of development we've got here. Development during May was great all across the board. We saw lots of substantial progress in key areas that ultimately led to one of the most important months in some time, bringing in a lot of important gameplay changes and UI elements. Though things are going extremely well on our end, we should note that beta is most likely to take place in Q3 so that the team can really polish up the experience. We're introducing quite a few complex systems and would like to ensure that most of the prominent edge cases are covered before pushing another major release for testing. So we've got the core progress systems. So in rather significant news, the logic of our core progression systems, such as park rating, have been written. For the first time in the project's history, we're able to test and simulate the progression of a park, its economy, and inventory of animals. More on that in a minute. So all that's left to do is self-functioning progression. For self-functioning regression is to link up actual gameplay values like exhibit data, animal welfare, park statistics, etc. in terms of maths and calculations required behind the scenes. That's all been taken care of. So we just got to put everything together now. So that's it on that side. So lots of exciting stuff. So start off with, we've got improved graphics. So between developing systems and iterating, we've continued tweaking parts of the game's visuals and seeking new additions when we can. In May, we've introduced a double pass on ambient occlusion, bringing richer depths to the shadows and making the game pop more. This change has a little impact on performance and can always be disabled, so we can see the difference here. It just makes it pop a little more. You can see that it pretty much just makes it changes how you shade. Ambient occlusion of things that happen in real life, it's just how it shades. And I gotta say, that looks really, really nice. We can see how beautiful it looks afterwards. It looks much more like pop more and feels a lot more layered. It feels deeper. Feels like there's lots of stuff going on, and I love it. It's great. So to top it all off, we've also introduced an anamorphic lens flare to hit that significantly more cinematic quality on bright surfaces. So I think J.J. Abrams would be quite happy with that. We've got a nice lens flare going on, so that's awesome. So we've got the development report. So this is what's been going on in the month. All sorts of things. Rendering, weather experimentation, all that stuff, and we're going to get into it as we go past. So we've got the development highlights. So progression mechanics. As discussed, 3 large parts of the game's progression mechanics and their related management menus have almost been finished up, ready for data to inform their systems. So we've got the overview. So this is the overview menu. The overview menu is where you find the breakdown of your park as a whole, acting as a hub, and checking your park's rating and performance. So we can see this pretty much just gives all the necessary information that you might need. We can see here these park information, so that's the name of the park. You can change it yourself. We can see ticket satisfaction, so clearly no one likes their tickets. We've got the adult and child prices, so we can see we can change the prices for adults and for children, and $50, $250, that's a lot for a zoo ticket, but then again, it is dinosaurs. We can see our park ratings. We've got 1.5 stars at the Mo. And other values that we need to keep an eye on, like accommodation, rest areas, education, land values, animal populations, and things like that. Animal visibility is also important. And we can see other things here. We've got temperatures and weather. So it looks like it's going to be sunny. And then, April's going to be a bit, And then we have the finances, so that keeps track of your money, marketing, excavations, so us digging stuff, and research, along with things like animals, staff, tells you their welfare and everything, staff, and infrastructure, so that's cool. So that's a pretty cool update. So UI, concept art, child pricing, marketing, and staff not available for early access launch. Okay, so we won't be getting that quite yet. So relevant management statistics and the weather forecasts are all visible on the right side of the screen, offering a surface look at various areas or activities that players can interact with. So this is kind of just like an overview, so you can just go, I want to check the weather, more information on the weather, or I want to check more about my animals. I can click here. So look, Ivan looks pretty popular. So we got the finances here now. So money makes the world go round, even in Prehistoric Kingdom. Even though we just got to get that money, got to get that dough. So as we're working with more grounded pricing, your animals and infrastructure can be quite the hefty investment, potentially costing millions of dollars. That makes sense if you're going to have a multi-ton dinosaur that costs thousands to make and thousands to millions to keep fed. So that'll be pretty interesting. So we can see this is the finances here. We can look at the profits for the month and also entry fees, what money we're making, expenses, and our income. A little bit of marketing for you and a little bit of money management. So we can see these different views here. So net profit, entry fee, we can turn these on and off depending on what we want to see. So this will allow us to track over time what things are costing more, what things are costing less. Maybe if we want to run a little bit more optimally, if we run out of money, we can see what things are costing us the most and try and figure it out so we can get it running as best we can. Because we don't want to be in the red. You never want to be in the red. So, but if you do get in the red, here are some loans. So we'll talk about more loans as we get through it. So from the finance menu, players can look at their quarterly performance and see all their recent profits and expenses. This customizable line graph on the right shows what you've been up to over time, with the options of switching between a monthly and a yearly review. So that works well. If you're really struggling and need a boost, players can redeem loans that are paid off at a flat interest rate per month, with factors like facility upkeep as a monthly overhead. I'm curious to see all your failures and success rates during the beta. So that's one thing. So if you're running a little low on money and you're having a bit of an issue, you can get yourself a little loan here and get yourself sorted. So that's cool. So now we've got excavations. So excavations are how players selectively unearth new animals over the course of the game. Locked off by the current park rating, dig sites can be purchased with cash, while the animals inside are unlocked with unique currency science points. So you can't use science points anywhere else. That's where you use for the unique currency within the excavation and science stuff. So though some animals are missing their prices or other stats, the experience surrounding this part of the game is really starting to come together. So we can take a look at that now. Look at this. So you can see we go to Dinosaur Park. Now we go into Kaparawitz Formation. We can see the different species of Parasaurolophus. There was Walkerai and now there's Cryptocasus, or however you pronounce it. So there are species spread across different formations. Wow. There we go. Microraptor! I like the ambience of that. That's pretty cool. I like the ambiance. So that's a work in progress. And now we're going to move on to the weather. So part of the mini improvements coming to the beta, we've been experimenting with the game's weather and atmospherics to see what types of climate conditions we'll be able to simulate. In June, we'll probably start the progress of creating weather presets and fully implementing them into the game's calendar year. So we start off with this wonderful picture that I love a lot. We can see this Tyrannosaurus having a great sleep. He looks like he's having a nice sleep on a foggy morning. I know that feeling, especially since it's coming to be winter where I am. We're in winter now. Sometimes you just don't want to get up in the morning. You just want to have a nice sleep in the winter fog. But it's wintry modes. I love it. And now we can move on to... This looks like we got a Torvosaurus here, and we can see some of the visual changes. We can see the lens flare there, the light reflecting. And we can sort of see it reflecting off the Torvosaurus as well. Clearly Roaring is not happy. He's also wandering, so it's got no purpose. And then we can see how the water of the rain coming down shows light reflects off the animal. Also, you can see in the water here, it seems to be moving a bit. This is the water here, but this is the fog. It's not fog, mud. So we can see the changes here. I think that looks pretty cool. Really shows like just the little things that really can change the effect on the game. And also will give us a really nice like hint at a rain. So this is just a work in progress, but it's really cool to see that we'll be getting all these different type of weathers in the future. So that's cool. As you could probably guess, the weather system will also influence the park's soundscape and other simulations like temperature. It's a level of immersion and detail that we've never quite had before, so we're very excited to see where this takes us. So that'll be awesome. So, things like that. I think that'll also be important gameplay wise, because if you've got animals that really like the warmth and then you have a cold storm coming in, that'll really affect your animals a lot. Or if you have a heat wave and you have animals like mammoths and things like cooler weather, that's going to affect them too. So I think that's also pretty cool gameplay wise. And now we've got underwater rendering and audio. So let's take a dive beneath the surface to experience your park from a splashing new perspective. So underwater rendering is here, and we've approached it in quite a refreshing way, allowing a seamless visual transition from what's above and below the waves for your prehistoric ponds. Now let's have a look at that. So we can see this is pretty much like the salt water, and I think it looks really, really nice how it is. We can see all these little horsetails and things at the bottom there. It looks wonderful. It just looks great. And we can see the diffusion as it goes out. You can see something in the background there. It looks like a log. I think it just looks wonderful. And then we can see, as they mentioned, they've got this clear visual transition. So we can see this is the half of it's underwater, half it's on top. We can see that wonderful paddle apparel. And it looks just seamless. It looks like you're just sitting on the water. And then you can, probably if you had a dinosaur here, you could probably see it swimming through. If there's anything under the water, like something marine or something, like a Dinosuchus or a Spinosaurus or a Mosasaur. When those come, which will probably be not in a long while, we can have a look through here and see it. I think that just looks awesome. Good job. Good job. So also that our soundscape changes with the camera's position too. As the player plunges beneath the surface, elements like animals, buildings, music, ambient audio, and all the like are filtered out depending on how deep the camera is underwater. So we'll have a look at that and listen. So you can hear that? I think that's pretty cool. We can see how the Tyrannosaurus, you can hear it roar there, and it is muffled by the water, so I think that's pretty cool. So in future, additional wildlife audio will be introduced to give the impression of a biodiverse wetland in areas of water. So that'd be cool. You could have frogs and insects buzzing about. I think that'd be cool. Really helps bring that life to the game. It's just interesting to see how these changes. You can see the filter. So now if you're looking underwater and then you see a dinosaur, and then it's like, and you're like, dangerous. And you can look and see, but oh no. So we've also got the mini aviary, so the locomotion changes. So flying animals in a confined space are difficult to get right, no matter how you approach them. For us, the best option for our tiny Microraptors ended up being the animation loops and predetermined locations, though even that has its own set of unique challenges to overcome. In May, we began developing a more dynamic approach to setting up these navigational paths. Instead of hand animating the entire motion, we've instead switched to using splice and velocity data to inform how a creature might animate as it moves through the path. This might sound like the most obvious choice in hindsight, but the reality is this approach has a much higher technical development cost to get to look right and functioning correctly. The biggest benefit of this solution, however, is how much time it cuts down on the animation, allowing us to build a library of unique movements that the game can pick from. So that's pretty cool. So instead, if you compare to the old system that they're talking about here, it was all just predetermined animations. So it would never change. It'd just be kind of, you do this and then it's all planned out. But this time, they're doing a different approach. They have these different lines that they can travel through, so they probably can pick and choose. So the benefit of this is that it isn't going to be predetermined and save some animation time. So you could potentially see different changes and how the animals will move and stuff. So it won't be the same looped animation, which is, I think, worked fine for how it was, but they clearly want to change it up a bit and save some animation time. So this will be able to decide what the animals want to do and really just give us something a little bit more fresh than just the looped animations, and give us something just looks a little bit more dynamic. But I think both systems are fine, and I was fine with how it was, but this is going to be cool. I enjoy that. So now we've got the custom development tools. So with almost half an hour of original music left already written for beta, with another half an hour of original music already written for the beta, English not good today, the score is starting to take shape. To celebrate this month, we'll be showing off 2 more snippets of the soundtrack, all of them, and Ingenuity. That's cool. So that was a nice track. I love the Prehistoric Kingdom music. It just sounds so wonderful and amazing. So now we've got Ingenuity. I like that one a lot. I like the casual nature of it. I think it's just nice something to do while you're like perusing around the menus, especially in the nurseries. I think that'd be cool. I like these tracks. I'm excited to hear them in the beta. That's going to be awesome. And now we've got the foliage showcase. So the coastal biome received its quality of life updates, introducing a load of new items to bring the total foliage count up to 21 variants. So we can see all these different variations within the trees, all these pine trees. I think that just looks wonderful. You can see the ferns there and the plants and all these ferns. You can see these roots there and broken logs and such. I think that looks awesome. Then we can look at these forests. Look, that just looks like some of the forests that you see in like British Columbia or the Northwest or something. I think that just looks wonderful. We expect like a grizzly bear or something to hop out of these, or an elk or a brown bear. Brown bear, grizzly bear, same thing. But I think that just looks wonderful. I can't wait to build things like this and put dinosaurs in them. It's just going to look amazing. It just feels like a real forest, and it's very hard for video games to catch that sort of realism, and I feel like they nailed it with Prehistoric Kingdom. This feels wonderful. You can see another one. Look at that. Look at that. Wonderful. You can see the rocks here and all the ferns, so they did a good job with that. And now we've got the animal showcase. So perhaps one of the most well-known hadrosaurs, Parasaurolophus, is a truly remarkable creature, best identified by its elongated resonating chamber on its head. 3 of its species are spread across the world, ready for players to find in the upcoming beta. So this one we've got here is the first species mentioned on the list. We've got Parasaurolophus walkeri. So this guy is from Dinosaur Park, I believe, or one of those sort of formations. And then we have Crypto Christensis, or however you pronounce it. So that's ones you saw on the Excavations menu, had the smaller frill. That guy's from the Kaparowits, so this guy is known with Cosmoceratops and you look see in the Pseudoceratops, I think. And then you also have with this guy, the walkeri, you have Lambeosaurus and Styracosaurus. And then you have one that's a bit out of left field, but I think is really cool to have. So this is often not lumped into Parasaurolophus. It's often considered its own genus called Charnosaurus, but this is Charnosaurus jalensis. So Charnosaurus is sometimes lumped and often lumped into Parasaurolophus, but sometimes its own species. Own genus. And it's from Asia, and is also the largest and the latest of the Parasaurolophines, so that kind of group. So this guy would have been living in Asia up until the KPT boundary, about 66 million years ago, when the big meteor hit and killed all the other dinosaurs, except the birds, of course. So that was kind of the latest and greatest of the lot. And I think this one looks awesome. I love the colors on this guy. I love the bright yellow and orange on the frill there. Not the frill, the crest. So we can see this is the other one. We can see this is this is probably the male and female skin. You can see the female slightly more dull. And you can see this is probably the male here. Or that could be variation, because if you've seen on the alphas, we had variation within color. So it's most likely this is the male and female. But I just think the habitat that they put it in, we can see the nursery in the background, but look at all these pines here and the ferns on the ground and wonderful water. That just looks incredible. Beautiful, beautiful game. I'm really excited to get my hands on it again. Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait to get this Parasaurolophus in the beta. It's going to be awesome. And now we've got a news roundup, so this will be cool. So, recently, Nigel teased his role in the game with a short dialogue preview. Click the link below to visit his Twitter page and watch this very special clip. So let's have a look at this. So let's get ourselves...
This handsome little fella is one of my personal favourites, the Microraptor. No, that's all you're getting. It's going to be brilliant, though. You must play Prehistoric Kingdom when it's released. This handsome little fella is one of my personal favourites, the Microraptor. No, that's all you're getting. It's going to be brilliant, though.
I love it.
You must play Prehistoric Kingdom
I will.
when it's released.
God, I love that. I love that. I just love the charm in his voice, especially with the trailer and then hearing this. He's just so charming, and he has like a really chill vibe to him as he's excited. He's like passionate, but he's not like, crikey, Steve Irwin type. He's like just excited, but he's just so calm and passive, and I really like the way he talks and the way he's going to be narrating the game. I love it. Nigel was probably one of the best things that happened to this project, honestly. I think that's just so cool that he got involved. Love it. And now I've got community spotlights. So we've got this by Swoop there. Looks like a little, what do you call it? Forgot the name of it. Stadium. This reminds me a little bit of Jurassic Park Lost World with the one in San Diego. You can see that there's a little area to display the animals, so they can do tricks and such. And then obviously people obviously sit here and watch the show, or just watch the animal do its thing. I think that's pretty cool. Next one, this is by Jacksaw, my good friend, my good buddy, my butterino. And we can see what he did here was a really nice aviary. I love the design of this. This is why I think it's so cool that they gave the aviaries null option. So we kind of made two aviaries, and then with the chain link that he got, and also the metal pipes and such, he made himself a really nice looking aviary, and I just think that looks really incredible. You can see the animals hanging out there. Super nice. Love it. And then we've got by Warpath. So this is kind of a real nice, almost like a map going on here, and we can see Apato Apparel, T-Rex Cafe, the nursery, the map for the Lambeosaurus and the Edmontosaurus. It looks like a really nice habitat. I like this here. It looks like some sort of shelter. See the Styracosaurus going on through here with the entrance. That looks good. And then you have over here, we've got Tarbosaurus. And I think this is a really nice design map. So yeah, thank you for reading May's Devlog. It's a highly successful month. We hope that you've enjoyed another Prehistoric Kingdom development update. As always, we'll be back next month with more information and great progress to share with you as well. Until next time, the PK team. So, that was a really nice devlog. That's like the meatiest devlog we've had in a while, so I'm really excited that we got to go through this one, and I hope you guys obviously enjoyed this video of me going through it. So, yeah, I'll obviously put the links of these and all that in the description, so if you guys want to go have a look for yourself, you can go click the links there, and yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, always remember to click that little bell icon in the corner there to get notified whenever I upload anything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.